Good morning, everyone. Getting ready to go live soon with Kristen from Mandali Yoga. Oh, and there they are. All right, let's see. Let's start doing this technical stuff. Yay!
Hello.
Good morning, Kristen. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. I have to say this at the beginning, I'm always so relieved when the buttons work and the thing and the
Oh my gosh.
everything.
Same here. Trust me. I'm sure you get this all the time. I am not very technological, so this is all very new to me. This is my first time doing this kind of thing. So thank you for the invite.
Yay! Yeah, this is it's crazy. We've been in this situation a year and a half now, and we're learning all these new skills, and it's just IG Live, I don't even know if it actually existed before. I honestly don't even know, but it's been such a great tool to meet everyone, and we're all
Yeah,
separated, but
absolutely. Yeah, I feel the same way. It's been really great to be able to connect through all this craziness.
yeah,
So,
yeah. So I just wanted to thank you for joining us today and for supporting New York Yoga Life magazine. We've been
yeah.
doing this series now. We started about a month ago, and it's super informal. We just chat for a little while so that I can get to know you, you can get to know me, and then our community can get to know what you guys are offering, what you've been through. You guys are up in Saratoga Springs, right?
Yeah, yep. We're right on Broadway in Saratoga Springs, so
Yeah.
a really popular place to be right now.
How
So,
was it? Like, did you guys shut down? Like, let me know. Like, I'm just so curious what everyone's experience was like.
yeah, so yes, we shut down just like everybody else. Mid-March, we got the word that we had to close, and so we did that, thinking, well, hopefully this will be temporary. And it ended up that wasn't the case. So we were closed for a few months, like March, April, May, and June. And
Wow.
then luckily we were able to do some outside park classes with the city of Saratoga, allowing us to use the space. And we did that in July and August. And then the state allowed us to open back up with masks in September. So we were pretty
Wow.
lucky. We were very lucky to have survived. And we kept up with all the payments on the bills, and we had a lot of help from the landlords and the community, especially, and
Yeah.
the awesome teachers who donated their time, and just the right circumstances, really. Financially, I had good advice
Yeah.
in the beginning to save some money, so I relied on that. And
How
yeah.
long had you guys been open before, like in terms of the whole studio before the shutdown?
Yeah, so we were open. We've been open since 2004. So
Okay.
I purchased the studio in 2018 from the previous owner, Karen Score, who had owned it for about 10 years, and she kind of made it into what it was. And the original owner were a few people, but Gopi Kinnacut, who is a popular yogi out of the DC area, who started the studio with another one of our teachers, Heather Dacus. So it's been a long legacy, and I was fortunate enough to have been the one to keep it going. So
So what did you do before you owned the studio? What was your previous life?
I actually still have a job 9 to 5. So like
Oh my
I
God.
am I'm in, another reason why the studio did so well. I was not
Right.
relying on the income. So like I was just trying to keep it open.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm in finance, so I do home loans for people.
Wow. So
Yeah.
you definitely have both spectrums of what is that like living in those
Yeah.
two worlds? Like that fine I like my day I have a day job too and it's in news. So I
Yeah.
it's the same. That's what kept the lights on in I guess my apartment at this point. But
Right,
it's the
right.
only reason a lot of us sort of made it through this because we had to work 12 jobs. Like,
Right, exactly. And you know, it's interesting to wear both hats, especially from a day-to-day standpoint, but one helps the other. Like
yeah.
I'm very, much involved in my yoga practices in my finance world,
Yeah.
deep breaths all the time and whatnot. But I'm also very business-like at the studio because I just know like, what it takes to keep it going financially and what balancing the books is like. And, numbers don't scare me really. So, that
Yeah.
kind of stuff really helps in
Yeah.
both ways. So
Yeah.
I really love doing both. It really kind of keeps me on this kind of level ground,
I
really.
feel this. I definitely feel the same way. I feel like both. I feel like they both feed each other, and it helps keep me. You know, sometimes news obviously gets very heavy, and I'm able to detach and look at it from a sort of. I don't want to say detached, but almost like a doctor. Like I can compartmentalize a little bit better.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. Yep.
it's great. The only thing for me, and I don't know if you encounter this, is just time. You know, because I'm doing so many things, my time feels a little more
Oh my
constrained.
gosh. I just hired a studio manager this year,
Wow.
finally, after
Wow.
doing it, juggling, and I have a 2-year-old. So I was like, this is just super demanding. I feel like I'm not doing anything very well. I'm just kind of doing it all as keeping up.
Yeah.
So I've been getting help, and that is, as everyone knows, really important. And I'll be the first to admit I'm not the best at asking for help. So
Mm,
having a studio manager has been like a life changer for me.
yeah.
Just having just those few things are being done that I'm not having to worry about. And um, that's huge. So I do know what you mean by
Yeah.
that.
I mean, it's great because I had never owned a business before this. And so I really have from the ground up learned. I mean, I do newsletters, everything. I have a team that helps. They're amazing. But also, I know how to do everything, like literally everything. You know, when we held events and everything, I was like sweeping floors, greeting
Absolutely.
people.
And that's how, yeah, and that's
Yeah.
great. That's what you need to, you can't really have, I feel like you must know how to do everything for things to, in order for things to go smooth, because you are inevitably going to have people that can't show up or can't, whatever. So
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. It's
But
definitely so. Wait, you just hired a studio manager now, and you've been open how many years now? You have
well,
one. That's
I have owned it since 2018.
yeah,
So I've been just for a few years kind of learning the business and, making it my own thing, and
yeah,
while keeping the traditions. And it's a
yeah,
bhakti studio. So bhakti
mm,
yoga is that love and devotion. And we do a
yeah,
lot of the mantra and the chanting and the
mm,
very traditional in our practices. So I really kind of always try to stay true to that.
yeah,
And just kind of learning my way through, every little thing about it, the financial part, the customer service part, the managing the teachers part, the, questioning yourself all the time. Like, am I doing the right thing with the masks? Am I,
yeah,
what are people thinking? Am I losing customers? Am I making people safe? Am I like, and it's just like those things that as a business owner, and I'm sure if you're a business owner, you know exactly what I'm talking about, that you just stay up at night thinking about.
yeah,
Realistically, you do.
yeah.
So, it's been awesome though. Like I said before, I feel so honored and privileged to be at the head of the ship here. There's so many people that help make it run smooth though.
Yeah,
So,
I'm
yeah.
sure. And what was it like? I mean, I know that we're still in this, obviously, but like when you were going through like shutting down and then reopening, how did you get through it? What was the thing? Was it something someone said? Was it just a mantra you had?
No, I
Was
had
it
a 3-month-old. So
so you're like I had real life and that's all
I
I
had
need?
real life distraction. I honestly
Yeah,
feel like that really did kind of, it pulled, I of course had to be involved because I was making the decisions and trying to get people online and getting
right,
the Zoom thing set up and
right.
all those things. And, really though, I had an infant that I was caring for and feeding, and, I was really more so, honestly, that was my focus. So
Wow.
I was lucky. Like, I
Yeah.
feel very lucky in that sense. But, but really, it was scary. Like, I
Mm,
remember feeling very anxious. Like, can I keep this studio that's been in this beautiful town, in this beautiful space, with all these beautiful people coming to it for so long? Can I keep this place open? Like, I have to keep this place open. What do I have to do to keep this place open? Like,
yeah.
that's where I felt the most anxiety, was when my baby was asleep and I was like, okay, it's real now. Okay, here we go. My brain
Yeah.
is over here now. Like, so I just did what I had to do, and I asked what I had to ask. Like, teachers, can you guys teach the park classes for free? Like,
Right.
landlord, thank you so much for giving us the discount on the rent all these months.
Wow.
You know, whatever. Like, thank you to all the people that we had to put on hold for all those months. The people that clean the studio, the water delivery, it's just like the people that take the rugs. It was like all that was put on hold, and everybody, luckily, you know, we all kind of are back. Everybody that was involved before is back now. So like, how lucky are we? You know, the same guys cleaning the space, the same water people delivering the water, the same rug people doing the rug. So it's like, what could be better than that? You know?
Yeah. That's truly
And
amazing. Do you feel like you're back to 100% in terms of capacity and membership? Like, do you feel like you're
no,
getting there or?
getting there for sure. Like,
Yeah.
I feel a million times better, obviously, now than I did this time last year.
Mm.
Um, but no, I don't think we're like 100% there. Like a lot of our members still haven't returned, but we
Mm.
are getting a lot of the new members.
Right.
So there's a shift for sure. And there's a shift even in like the demographic of this, of the student who is showing
Mm.
up now versus the student that was coming before, because we
Mm.
have seen like a lot of the older population isn't really coming back yet. Some are,
Right.
but like,
Yeah.
we're lucky that we also are in a community where there's been a lot of growth because of COVID. So we're getting all the new
Right.
students and members, and but
So a
we're
lot
getting
of
there for
people,
sure.
so a lot of people have moved up to that area where you are now. And I say up to because I'm
Yeah.
in the city. So that's, I remember hearing like at first everyone was just fleeing the city. It's like everyone I knew, I was like, hello, is anyone
Yep.
like
Yep. It
no one
absolutely
was
was true. And I can
here?
tell you that from the mortgage side
Yeah.
because I was doing all the loans, and I was like, wow, this is crazy. Like all
Wow.
these people moving up here.
Right,
And,
right.
you know, not everybody does yoga, but it helps for sure.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure. And I mean, I'm sure you're still doing the online sessions, I'm sure, because a lot of people have kept that going on.
No, no, that's so funny. We
Really?
stopped doing online like
Yeah.
months ago because
What?
quite honestly, I could not get the teachers to be excited about it. And I
Mm,
understood that because I was not
right.
excited about it. And really like, and I think if you've been to the studio, you'll know, like what we do is really,
Mm,
it's a feeling, it's a bob,
mm,
you go there and it's like, it's a beautiful spiritual place. It's divine. Like if you walk in and you feel
yeah.
it, and it just couldn't be conveyed over the computer. And
Yeah.
after trying this and trying that, and just the teachers, just, I can see they were just, and I didn't want to keep fighting it. And I said to
Mm,
myself, okay, financially, we're okay. Like, I'm not going to keep doing this. Like, if it's something that's being offered otherwise, there's so many people doing it. It's just not, we're not just a workout. It's just a little bit more than that. So it was,
mm,
you know, that ultimately was the decision that I made. And I think everybody was so relieved, quite honestly. Like they were so
but
relieved, and it felt good not to have to
yeah.
force it anymore.
Yeah.
So, you know, yeah, the in person and the sharing the space, there's nothing like it. So,
I mean, 100%. I mean, I've definitely, it's such a different vibe because up anytime you leave the city, the studios are much bigger and they're airier and there's literally more space. You know, so you never feel, I never really thought about it before, but the city, the studios in the city, they're smaller. They have to. We're in the city, real estate's very expensive.
right, right.
But
And
when
that
you
is a
go
good
to,
point.
yeah, but when you go to a big, beautiful, airy, like the first time I ever did yoga outside of the city was in Jersey at a beautiful studio. And I was like, I was in the changing room and I was like, I can change. Like the bathroom, like more than one person fit. I was blown away. And I was like, oh yeah, this is what it's like when you're not in the,
In these
you
tiny
know,
little buildings. Well, you got to come to our studio because not only do we have a beautiful, huge studio one, but we have a second studio that we kind of, you know, alternate classes. And once we get back to 100%, we'll be opening up that second space again. But we hold different workshops and stuff. We have a beautiful
yeah.
lounge, a store area, an office space. I mean, come up and visit us.
I would
So,
absolutely love to. I mean, any chance I can to get out of the city, I'm like, I'm there. It's,
yeah, and we were lucky. We could
yeah.
space out 6 feet apart, and we still had room for 14 mats.
Yeah,
So
that's
we were
and that's
like,
an
you
advantage.
know,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
So
it's so interesting. You're the first person I spoke to that's not doing the online, but now it makes sense. So what do you see then the future? So for you, it's so interesting because everyone I would ask is like, what does the future of the yoga studio look like for you? And for you, it's totally different. Like, would you ever go back? Like, probably not to online stuff.
not if we can help it.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
quite honestly, I mean, if it came down to it and we had to do it again to keep the studio open, I know everybody would go to it again. We would rally again and we do what we have to do. But
right.
no, I mean, if I can kind of, you know, avoid that,
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to. I mean, there's just enough of it out there. And I know
That's
that
true.
there's people that really wanted us to make it work that moved away, and like people that
Hmm.
had come to the studio before. And it's back to that thing as an owner where you're just like, you can't do it all for everybody. You have to
Right.
just do what you do well.
And
So
that's the thing too, like when you're doing something with all your heart and your limited time resources, you have to really love the thing that you're doing. It gets harder when things start to just be like uncomfortable to do. I'm a one person show
exactly.
with an amazing team that, helps when they can and does this, and they're amazing. But like if I'm not feeling it to my core, like I always said, if it doesn't help me either financially, emotionally, or in some way of my personal
100%.
well-being, like
Why
I
are
don't,
you?
why am I doing this? Like at this point, and it took me years to figure that out. I was like, well, I should, a lot of shoulds, and
Yep.
as a
Hmm.
new person starting, but eventually I just got tired and I was exhausted and I was like, this isn't, it's got to be fun for me, at
Same,
the end of
same.
the
And that's what
day.
the teachers were feeling. And like, I
Yeah.
just didn't want to force it. And honestly, we're so lucky that we have had such a beautiful community there that supported us. They did a GoFundMe at one point, and like,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just people were just whatever we have to do. People were reaching out to me saying like, do you need help paying the rent this month? And I'm just like, oh my
Oh my
gosh, like, are
God.
you kidding me? Like, oh my God, you guys are just making me cry. Like, this is
Yeah.
just amazing. And, again, if we didn't have to make it happen that way, and it was something we could, just go back to doing in person, and our community was fine wearing masks and it was
Right.
working, we were all happy with that. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's truly amazing. So are you in the studio right now or are you at home?
No, I'm in my bedroom hiding from my 2-year-old.
Oh, because I
I
was gonna say, take us on a tour of the studio.
I
So
know, trust me,
if
I
you
was gonna
can,
try to make it happen. I was like, oh, I could be at the studio. There's a class happening in there right now,
yeah.
but yeah, the best I could do with a 2-year-old and a schedule was hide in my bedroom.
Listen,
So
I hear you. I have a
yeah,
puppy and it's not anything the same, but I don't have any children. So for
it's
me,
similar.
I'm like, here's a bone. Like, just be quiet for like
Right, right,
a
right, right.
minute. So it's
No, that's
like,
awesome. Yeah, it's similar though. You have that responsibility with that soul for sure.
for
So.
sure. So tell me before I let you go, what's coming up for you guys in terms of offerings or trainings, something that you're super excited about that
Oh
you're
my
just
gosh,
like,
we are like ramped right back up with our fall schedule. We've got our 200-hour training, which is pretty much full. We've got like one spot we're going to open up to make it.
amazing.
Um, we've got about 14 people in that
Wow. And
training.
that's all in person, right? So
All in
no,
person, all in person.
you're
Well,
like,
we're
no online.
no, we do have a couple Zoom modules that we might break out if, weather
Yeah.
related things happen or whatever. But yeah, they'll be, but mostly in person. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we have our level 1 restorative yoga training with
Mm.
the wonderful Ann Biasetti, who's does it every year in the fall, coming up in October. I think we have a couple of spots left for that one still. That was pretty much almost full as well. We
Wow.
have amazing yogis coming to the studio this fall. We have Larissa Hall Carlson, who's a
Oh, I know.
1,000-hour
Yeah.
Kripalu teacher. She's coming out to do a
Yeah.
mini retreat for us, a whole day of Ayurveda um,
Yeah.
in November. We have Bobby Marchand coming from,
Wow. Yeah.
yeah, so she's going to be doing just a day workshop from 1 to 3 coming up in a couple of weeks in September. But
Wow.
yeah, if you check out our website, it's so exciting to see again because,
Yeah.
this was what I was praying for the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, can we please get back to what we're doing? And the only thing we haven't gotten back to yet is our kirtans, which we
Mm.
are really well known for. And Karen, who is the previous owner, and Gopi, who is also really involved in the kirtan community, really built up a beautiful, following there in our little space of, Gauravani and Adam Bauer and different people that are
Yeah.
into the mantra music. They'll come and visit us and we'll pack that studio. I mean, like 50, 80, 100 people sometimes. And it's like,
Wow.
we're waiting for those days again, and we're
Yeah.
coordinating. A lot of the people that come aren't feeling good about traveling, so it's like
Right.
I'm
Right.
waiting for the day for that last piece of the puzzle to come into play where we can have our kirtans again. But
Yeah.
pretty much we're back at it. I'm so excited for the fall. So
Oh my God. And it's crazy because I really do see a shift in that people just, they want those in-person events. Like we've been doing a lot of online events, and we are doing our first in-person event with a friend of ours, you know, not too far from the city. You know, we're sort of dipping our toe in the pool, and we opened it up and like 50 people signed up within 2 days. And I was like, whoa, like I could, like we'd never had that response so quickly.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
I mean,
I was floored. Like,
I
that
would say
happened.
if there's any teachers that are hesitant about going back to doing the in-person stuff, like absolutely, like you just said, people are ready if you do it safely, if you
Yeah.
take the recommendations of the CDC and you make sure that everyone's following the rules. We've had no issues with COVID since we've opened, not a
Amazing.
single one.
Yeah.
But we're very strict about our cleaning protocols
Mm.
and everything we're doing to keep everybody safe. So you know, if anyone is hesitant, like the people are ready, we need it. I know there's a second like variant Delta wave coming through, but
Yeah.
again, if you're safe and you're doing it the right way, you know, hopefully people can get back together and, you know, get healed, because I think there's a
Yeah.
lot of people that are hurting right now and a lot of confusing. It's still a very strange time, and this is
Yeah.
when we need the yoga.
This is now more than ever, as I
Exactly.
just say to myself
Exactly.
over and over again. Well, thank you, Kristen, so much. It was so great
Thank
chatting with
you.
you.
Oh
And
my gosh.
your beautiful studio is up in Saratoga Springs. And everyone visit her, Yoga Mandali. I'm going to post this as soon as we're done.
Great.
Check out their, so your yoga teacher training, that's Bhakti Yoga Teacher Training. Is that,
Yeah, yeah,
what is
yep.
that? Just really quickly, what is that for people that don't know, that are listening? What does that entail?
Yeah, so it's basically it's a regular 200-hour teacher
Mm-hmm.
training where you're going to walk away learning. You'll know how to sequence a class and stand up in
Mm-hmm.
front of and do a beautiful vinyasa, class. But it's really kind of rooted in the ancient traditions of mantra and the limbs of yoga, and really kind of going to the basics, not straying from those really traditional lineages that we follow in yoga. And bhakti really just means it's the yoga of love and devotion. So
Mm.
it's a lot about your heart. It's a lot about,
Yeah.
opening up and flowing and I kind of love and hate this finding your truth. But like
Right.
it really
Yeah.
is like that's what it did for
Yeah.
me. I mean,
Mm.
really. So bhakti, it's devotion. It's
Yeah.
a little bit of divinity, and not everybody that does the training is on that train, and that's fine too. But
Mm.
it's rooted in those ancient traditions for sure.
Yeah. Kristen,
So
thank you so much.
thank
Yoga
you so much.
Mandali, thank you for supporting the magazine. It's been wonderful having
Yeah,
you
we love you
guys.
guys. Can't wait for the
And
next issue.
it's just going to be coming out. We're going to the printer in 3 weeks.
Yeah, we're
And
gonna have it at the studio. I'm so excited.
fingers crossed. So you can pick up
Yeah.
your free copy at her studio
Yes.
probably in November. So
Yeah.
thank you so much. And check
Thank
out the
you.
amazing trainings they have going on. So
Thank you,
have a great
everyone.
one. Bye.
Bye.